Everybody, welcome to Roundtable number 15. 1-5. It's going to be a pretty good one. New month that we have in front of us. Pretty big DX month. Got a pretty large roundtable with me here today. Just going to
Might
go
be.
through and route everybody's names off. Just always per usual. Just give a little hello when I say your name. So first up, I have AJ Mad.
Hello.
Next up, I have Coyote.
Ahoy, hoy.
Got GoDFlow. Good talk. I got Sam.
Yep, yep, yep.
And finally, we got Envy.
Howdy.
Sweet. We're just going to start talking off about current monthly, big monthly, DX Army month. Right now, there's a DX versus NWO event going on for Feud and for all that stuff. Kind of wanted to gauge how everybody thought of what your initial thoughts of this month were. Interested in Road Dogg, interested in him before or after the change that they made to his move. Thoughts on Trish for the month. Thoughts on how attainable the month is going to be. The fact that they added the card back in the final solo milestone. What your plans are, and pretty much if you're planning anybody else for next month's talent up. The typical monthly conversation. So whoever wants to start, feel free.
I'll start. With the change they made with Road Dogg, he's one of those characters that just feels dated. If this was the 3-star gold era, he'd be like the hottest mega because back then when anybody had a choose move, they were god tier.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
nowadays it's like he doesn't do enough damage. He's a showboat. I mean, he's great for nostalgia, and I'm glad they're giving us somebody that has a nostalgia feel for free, but meh.
I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of his move animations. They just look so shitty.
How
And he
about
look
that
well,
artwork?
and he
It's
looks
looking
like that.
terrible.
He looks like the dude from a trailer park cosplaying as Road Dogg. He doesn't look like Road Dogg.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Looking shocking.
wait till we get to
Shocking.
Trish.
Oh, yeah. That was. Eesh. I mean,
Why is Trish got about 8 tons of fake tan on her animation? 'Cause on other animation she's pale. On this one she's like dark.
yeah,
I'm gonna try to censor what I said to Bob the other day about Trish, because I think that might not be that might get us demonetized on YouTube. But I wasn't wrong with what I said about her
no,
and how she looks in the game.
no. If you want, feel free, man. I don't give a shit. Say it.
I mean, okay. I apologize if I offend anybody, but Trish looks like that meth head that offers you that says, "Hey, for $10, I'll give you some favors." I mean, that's what she looks like, and that meth head from the trailer park that says, I need a ride to the gas station to get menthol cigarettes. If you give me $10 so I can get my fix, I'll offer you favors." That's what she looks like in game.
Hey,
Hello?
wow.
Okay,
Thanks
mic
for
working?
posting it, Sam. Go on, Flo. What's up?
Now that my mic's working again, I had to make a little adjustment. But yeah, she definitely does look like the lady that I sell everything bagels to every morning. And she definitely does enjoy the meth clinic.
Oh, Christ. Anybody else on I mean, you could talk about Trish's looks or the card itself. I mean, there's a lot to talk about during the month.
I don't, because now thanks to Sam, she's staring at me, so I don't want. Can't look away.
I mean,
Well, I mean, so I'll give my 2 cents on Road Dogg. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think kind of similar to what Coyote was saying, that yeah, he would have been viewed as pretty decent back in the day. I think he's an interesting version of like similar to Bobby Roode, how Bobby Roode plays at 4-star, but you could use it at 3-star for a Road Dogg, with the reinforce and choosing yellow type of moveset, just not as fluid with the recycling side of things. Coach is good. Interested that they doubled up on a coach with him, and I think it's Natalia for less from Purple Gem or Purple Subs also. I personally don't see myself taking him past 5K. That's where the 50% hits, and yeah, well the 9K goes up, and he has a 5-star, which goes even higher. The card's not that great. It's a lot of TP that shares colors with a lot of other cards that I'm trying to focus on this month and next month. So I don't really see any true reason for it. I'm not chasing this month either, especially not the 2,000 shard point. If I get max out the solo, I get the card, so be it. If not, I'm not stressed about it. Trish looks okay, but she looks good and better when she hits 5-star. And I'm not interested in forcibly taking the monthly chase card from 0 all the way to max to move her to 5-star so that she's viable and feasible. I'd rather just focus on my Bailey, who I got for free and is already at 4-star silver, instead of having to start from square one with Trish. That being said, if I get her, cool. If not, not the end of the world. I'm not planning on chasing this month hard in the slightest bit. Regarding talent up and whatnot, I'm just planning people for next month's talent up, and I think I'm planning to have Trickster Eddie ready to go 5, and I pulled at the end of last month, like right towards the end in the Screamium pulls, pulled Hogan, so I'm planning on getting him ready for 5 also for next month's talent up. So that's going to be my plans for the month. I'm not really planning on chasing anything. And the prize wall I'm strictly using as a resource stockpile. I'm not chasing like a Trish strap or tokens or anything like that. It's going to be coin, TP, and like that one prize wall offer that came up for a couple hours before they yoinked it back down. It was like 750 prize wall turkeys or shirts for 5,000 IGC. I scooped that up immediately because I'm not really saving for anything huge on the prize wall this month. That's at least my outlook.
I'll say, don't buy the Trish strap off the prize wall. It's in the milestones. It's in the event milestones.
Oh, that's true
Like,
too.
yeah, don't buy that off the prize wall. It's not worth it because it's the exact same strap on the prize wall and in the milestones.
So for me, Road Dogg, not all that great a character, but I still plan to take him to 4 gold as I take all the free characters to 4 gold because they're going to expect us to have them there at some point for a requirement later. And having somebody as an extra meat shield is never a bad thing. As far as the monthly goes, I'm just doing what I normally do. So I plan to max it, hopefully. From Prizewell, I'm just looking for resource restock as I normally do for coins and blitz tickets and whatever else I can pull from there. Not real fussed about tokens or anything like that. For Talent Up, I have the same lineup for Talent Up going into this month that I had for last month because I ended up getting Sacco and hot-shotted him up. So he took pretty much my Talent Up last month or at the beginning of this month. So I'm still looking at MOTU Taker and Earthquake and Zombie Triple H.
Sweet. Yeah, Zombie Triple H is a killer.
Yeah, Zombie Triple H is probably the best card in the game right now.
Yep, definitely.
Bar none.
He's a fucking...
Mamo, have you finished? AJ, have you finished?
Yeah, okay.
Alright, yeah. Mamo, Road Dogg, I'm about done with him already. His 3B and he's absolutely garbage. I'm sick of him already. I mean, he might get 5k if he's lucky. I've got no coin in him at 3B and he's fucking awful. If he's lucky, he'll get 5k. I'm sick of him. He's fucking terrible. I know I've been winding them lot up on nerds, but he's fucking awful.
He really is.
Well,
He really is.
Trish shards. I said from start, I'm not interested in her. I said she wouldn't be as good as her other card, and she ain't. Prize wall, same as you, Bob. To be honest, it's just a resource build with coins and TP, stuff like that. The rest of the month, I've absolutely no plans whatsoever. I'm going to do absolutely jack shit apart from faction stuff. I will be doing nothing.
You planning on
apart from
focusing
faction
anybody for the talent up for next month?
The talent up is that's what I'm going to do it all then. All the TP will going on first day. I'm taking MOTU, Triple H 5-star, and Eddie Trick 5-star.
Nice.
Uh,
5-star trickster Eddie Brothers next month.
yeah. But apart from that, it's going to be a pretty low-key month.
I like the sound of that.
I'll say this. I'm pretty down on this month for a couple of reasons. One is they've made Road Dogg tokens extremely friggin' rare. Like they're not even in the coin milestone. Like they're starting those tours ridiculously high if you didn't spend for him.
So this was one of the very few months I didn't spend for during the beginning, like with one of those kickoff starter packs, and that was like from the very get-go that I decided Road Dogg doesn't look good, Trish doesn't look all that great, and from my understanding on who the characters that were going to be available on the month were going to be, I wasn't really too stressed about the majority of them. If I got one, sure, and if not, I didn't really care. So that was kind of the reasoning why I didn't. But you're dead ass right. I couldn't beat. I think it was Edge was the first one on Hell mode when they made him 3-star bronze. I could not do it with my Road Dogg, and it was just like this has solidified it
I
now.
got walloped.
I'm not spending money. I'm not spending tokens. I'm not spending anything extra. I can't do it, and I'm not wasting IGC or props to get through a 3-star bronze Edge. That's a joke. And I was just like, all right, I'm kind of done with this, and I accepted that. I wasn't angry about it. I wasn't upset about it or anything. It was just okay. This is the situation that we're in. There really isn't much I can do about it unless I want to spend around it, and I'm okay with not spending around it and not benefiting from being able to beat the Hell mode since I'm not chasing Trish anyway. So just kind of moved on with it.
Like, I mean, when they first announced the event, things looked good. Like the vault looked good. Like, I mean, the concept of the month looked good. Now you're seeing the execution of it, and it's. I mean, the trend started last month, especially where they had those ridiculous spend events. I call something like 1,000 to max it if you had everything. But this month they've ramped that up to be even more on steroids, and it's just. It's ridiculous.
You have everything. Your faction has everything. You max all the possible requirements out. You get all the possible points that you possibly can. And then because RNG is usually a factor 99 out of 100 times, the RNG sucks 99 out of 100 times. And then you have to spend anywhere like north of $600 to $800 to max out the event after having all of those things completed. That's about the going rate of whatever it is.
It's getting ridiculous and stupid. I mean, I know that Scopely would come back and say, well, we've given you this for free. I mean...
I'll never forget, there was that one feud where they were trying to make everybody use a Legend Striker, and the excuse was, well, we gave all of you a 4-star bronze Ricky the Dragon Steamboat last week. And it was like, well, hold the fucking phone. Forget the fact that Steamboat sucks. You're trying to force people to use them in Feud. You just gave a 4-star bronze last week. Okay, where's the 20 million coin and 10,000 TP it takes to level him up while you're at it? Or are we all just sitting on that? Like, it's just that the excuses are bullshit, to be honest with you. But
and I don't want this to turn into like a beat up Scopely type podcast, but I mean, they deserve it lately. I mean.
It's been poor performance lately. It really has been.
I mean, let me ask everybody, may I ask everybody a question? I know it's not on the topics, but it's kind of an interesting question that I'm kind of curious how others see it.
Go for it.
Oh.
So, if you know somebody that does not play this game, and you wanted them to play because you wanted to play with a friend, what would you tell them? What would you tell them to convince them to start this game?
I couldn't possibly convince them.
So now here's the thing. I was willing to purchase my friend an account. That's the only way he was willing to play. That to address your point, because I've already explained to my friend for the past 2.5 to 3 years about what this game is, and because he knows about how shitty it is, he's like, Bob, I'm not starting from scratch, and furthermore, even if you get me an account, I'm not going to start spending on it. It's a joke. And I was like, yeah, I understand that. So if I ended up getting you an account, it'd have to be a thick account that you'd never want to or need to spend on again, which is next to impossible in this game to never need to spend, even if you have a 2 million roster.
I mean, I've got a a 2 million roster myself, and even I'm falling behind on events because they're just getting to a point where it's unsustainable to spend.
It's not realistic, and that to address your point, I don't have an answer to that. The answer I have is I don't have anything to say. Therefore, I'm trying to get an account that's already a top-notch account for somebody who wants to retire to get my friend to play the game. That's the only time.
I will say this.
Sorry, you go ahead, Jay.
Sorry, Sam. I will say that somebody new starting the game, if they're willing to spend a little bit, that they can put a pretty nice roster together, or at least a good start to get them going. I think it's way easier to catch up now to be able to actually start being able to compete, even if you can't complete everything, than it was when we all started.
Comparatively, sure. The only flip side I have to say to that is now that straps and medals are a thing, I feel like while you can maybe catch up quicker, I certainly feel like the bar has been raised exponentially higher.
I agree.
My answer to Coyote's question is my friends, they're friends for a reason. I like them. So I wouldn't tell them to play this game.
So you wouldn't tell them to play
said, don't play this game. So my friends I like them. I would say, do not play this game. Unfortunately, that is my take on it.
It's true. It is. One other thing I wanted to touch on too was the prize wall. It's not amazing this month or anything, but I'll be damned, it's a shitload better than the absolute crap one last month.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, the prize wall is back to what it was before. It's a lot better.
Like they shouldn't have done that rotating weekly shit. A lot of people got fucked last month on having like 50,000 shirts at the last week because they were expecting something big and they never dropped anything big. They just repeated week one. It's pretty shit last month, but I gotta say, like, move in the right direction this month towards the prize wall. Gotta give them a plus on that one for going back to what wasn't broken.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Yeah. Envy, anything to comment on the month? I don't want you to feel left out.
So I started off this month, and I just felt like I wasn't going to do anything. Then Road Dogg didn't pass the Pete Dunne test and lost in hell mode every time. So he's going to sit at 3-star bronze, where he's right now. He might get to 3-star silver, but that's about as far as he's going. Because when Merrick showed how much coin I've been spending every month taking these guys 4-star gold, never again.
Mm-hmm. It's a shitload of coin.
And I got too many guys I'm working on Zombie, Triple H, and Earthquake, trying to get them to 5-star next month, and have about 3 other people, and now the new NWO Macho that I have, I'm going to have to pull them up somewhere to 4-star soon, so as soon as I get those people up, I'll be happy.
Props on the NWO Macho, by the way. Congratulations.
Yes. Oh dear. See, I'm kind of mad that so many people got. I'm glad that people got mine, but I'm kind of mad because the way Scopely initially put it to us is that he was going to be for that event. He's going to be like Hall of Fame booker.
Trust
that
me.
event and that event only.
I remember, and they redacted their blog post to say it's only the gear, guys. It's only the gear. That's after it was already out for like a couple days. They redacted the blog post, said it was only the gear. I'll never forget, man. I spent the entire month, busted my ass for those 200 shards to get 3-star bronze, and the very next day, after the MLC was over, and as much as I love Vin, fucking hate him at the same time, asshole drops $100, and he's like, "Oh, look at me! I fucking got myself a 4-star bronze fucking NWO Macho." Oh my god, dickhead! Like, you've got to be shitting me! I just spent 28 days. Literally the 28th day on the 4-week-long event to get this asshole at 3-star bronze, and you drop $100, and you've got him at 4-star bronze. Why the fuck did I do the monthly? I got so pissed.
Yeah.
You still seem like you have some pent-up anger.
Just a tiny bit.
I'm still 87 shards away from
Eesh.
NWO Macho.
That's
39. I have been from that event. 39 since that event.
I'm up 638 if anybody needs any.
Yeah, I was gonna say once you get them, it seems like you have shitloads of them, right? I think I'm up to over 400 shards on my own right now.
I'm at.
I've hit them 3
466.
times.
Yeah, it's a joke. The dupe magnet's real. The game knows.
hmm
The game fucking knows.
I mean, it's not up to Socko standards yet. But
No,
I mean,
yeah. What you've hit Sako 5 times?
5 times
after pulling him.
after pulling him. I've hit him 4-star gold, twice at 4-star silver, once at 4-star bronze, and once at 3-star silver now.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
After
Taking a
not
5
after
star,
pulling him, after spending to get the shards to get him.
and you already have him at 5 star now, so now all the TP's just sitting there, and you can't.
Yeah,
use
yeah.
it.
There's TP for days.
Shit,
Never
man.
mind.
The it's so real.
I did buy the 2-star pack for Road Dogg, and I haven't managed to struggle yet. I damn sure ain't struggling against no weak ass bitch Edge. That's for damn sure. But yeah, what was said earlier is kind of right. It feels like back in the day he would be this elite superhero, but now it's like, oh, I'm a showboat with straps and I use and his moves are kind of weird. Like if you go with one setup, it kind of ruins. Like it seems like they didn't make it to where all 3 moves have complete synergy. I mean that they're all revolved around the same thing, but they're not just together run through the moves set. And that's kind of like how Rude's move is. Like his middle move's not even really needed.
Yeah.
Because after you start recycling the yellow, it just goes on and on and on forever. This is going
Only
to
if the
be
AI is playing it.
yeah, this is going to be the very first month that I don't take a freebie character to 4-star gold, mainly because he uses black and yellow, and he's going to ruin everything else I want to do.
Yep.
I am going to take him to 4-star bronze. He'll sit there. The good news is that they made the daily every other day, which means that I should be able to finagle my way through those without issue. I do think he has a move set well enough, maybe a prop or 2, I could get through it. Other than that, I'm still just like everybody else. I'm working my Z Triple H up. All he needs is black TP. That's all anybody ever needs. Coins are good. He's flowing. Zombie Daniel Bryan's coming up behind him. I wanted to work Gargano, but he might get left behind yet again. With that, same as everybody else. The Trish shards are kind of really wonky. I seem to be ahead of everybody I talked to in the MLC, so hopefully that's good news for me.
Yeah, I haven't done like any tours, so I'm behind everyone.
Yes, I'm hoping I do get her that way.
How many shards you at, GoDFlow?
I have no. My issue is I didn't open any of these, whatever they are.
The
Boxes,
web portal bags.
I guess.
Don't worry, those
You
are
also
only
get
going to be an
into
average
a-
of like 1 or 2. So
Yeah, 1 per piece. Yeah, I have 18 of the tribute to the troop shard bags.
So you'll
Which
get
I was-
like 20. You'll get like 22 shards out
yeah,
of
like
it.
20 to 25 shards.
Yeah.
But yeah, anybody else on the monthly before we step out on to the next topic?
Well,
Going once.
Speaking back on the prize wall, I actually I think the prize wall, they did step backwards into it not cycling, but it kind of sucks. I know the jumbo coin's missing. I know a bunch of other things they did, however, put the jumbo TP back, which is good.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
last month still had a lot more on it. It was just that we had the unknown of if they would have told us what was going to be on it every week, we could have planned better, and I think we would have got more off of it.
I would
So,
agree.
although they did
Definitely.
revert, they're not necessarily giving us more. Now we just have less expectation.
They took some of the items that were on the prize wall and they put them in the vault.
I was going to say that's the next thing that we're going to talk about is the vaults that are coming up.
I do want to. I forgot to mention what I'm doing for talent up. I still got to get Acro Steamboat and Zombie Triple H up. They both still need millions of coins. But
Millions
I'll get there.
upon millions. But no, I do agree with you on that one, Flo. I feel like if last month if they had given us like on the blog, if they had said week 1 prize wall is going to contain X, Y, Z, A, B, C, blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
and so on with week 2, week 3, week 4, I feel like that people would have had a better idea of how to gauge their shirts. I still think that people would have saved, like not everybody, but I still think there's going to be that tight subgroup that would have still saved and waited for week 5, which obviously still shame on them. But I think if they had sort of scheduled it out, I definitely feel like last month's prize
Yeah.
wall, if we had known, would have been better than this month's, because like you said, the jumbo coin's out of it, and they've kind of just they've shrunk this month's down pretty bad.
Yeah, it's a little. Last month's actually I lucked out. I did get enough to get Kane's gear in week 1. I had enough left over to get the Roman shards I needed to get Roman. I just barely didn't have enough for the Zombie Austin gear, and then turn around the last week of the month they were giving it away anyway.
That's how I ended up getting mine.
So I'm not as low as I lucked out a little bit on the prize wall last month.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that I got unlucky as much as other people, but I do think that still to your initial point, it would have been a better idea if it was scheduled. I think it would have been a better month for the prize wall. But yeah, anything else on the monthly? Otherwise, we'll start talking about the vaults, which is kind of an interesting take, at least from my aspect. Solo vault this time around, and also to kind of piggyback on what AJ had mentioned, they moved a couple of the really good prize wall items into the solo vault on the monthly. What do you guys think about the solo vault? The MLC turkeys, which pretty much give you the vault coin or coins that you'll need in order to get through it, and more or less that almost every single turkey besides the free portal one has been linked to a spend event, which is also to piggyback on Coyote talking about the spending events earlier. What are your guys' outlook on that? And then I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago that the Black Friday vault went live. And what do you guys think about that one? I think there was also a deal up on the Black Friday vault where it was $100 for like 20 coins, and it didn't have a limit when it first came out for like 5 or 10 minutes, and they swiftly ripped that down because they realized that if people spent $500, they would get Razor, NBT, T. Andre, Kyrie, and Hogan for like $500. What do you guys
Kyrie's
think about
not in this one though.
Is she not?
No, she's
No.
not in the Black Friday vault.
Is there a female like right before Hogan in the end?
Just a bunch of Chyna shards, which
I think she was in it because I remember seeing. I think she was in it, wasn't she?
She's
No,
in
she's
the
in the
other
turkey
vault.
vault.
She's in the monthly vault.
She's in the monthly solo with the Volkov gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it was. Apologies. But yeah, even still, 500 for NBT, Razor, T. Andre, and Hogan. For a lot of people, that's a killer deal. What do you guys think about the turkeys? How you have to get them? Pretty much them being linked to spend events and linking to the solo vault, where there used to be the good prize wall items, and then the Black Friday vault.
I wish I could say I was surprised that Scopely went this route, but I'm not. I should have. When I saw it, I was kind of like, "Oh, this would be really cool." And then I realized, no, this is Scopely we're talking about. They're not going to make this to where you can get much of anything out of it unless you are willing to spend a small island's GDP to get it.
It's so ugly, but it's so true. Anybody on the vaults, please feel free.
I feel about votes how someone feels about pumpkins. They need to all go. Faction vote, solo vote, all of them. Get rid of them all.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
the
argue
turkey
that one.
vaults. The turkey vaults I would hardly see because the character you need the characters on the side know that are tours which I ain't got, and like you say, the rest of it's just pay. So obviously, I think I've got 2 coins so far. I don't want to get him anymore.
Yeah, it's like you need what, like 30 or 40 coins for the fucking vault on the monthly, or even more than that, and you got like
Yeah,
less than a handful. It's like, what the fuck is the point of even chasing it?
I mean, I've
It
got a
was a
2 million
big
roster.
missed opportunity.
Yeah,
I've got a 2 million roster, and I've gotten 6 total out of it. I mean, and that's more than most.
yeah,
But
for sure.
that's still indicative. I mean, when you think somebody that has a bigger roster, they should be able to
To earn the majority,
conceivably
if
have
not
more.
all.
turn the majority of them, yeah. Because they've already spent for the game or, whatever.
Yeah. Flo,
Yeah,
your
and
take?
Envy pretty much hit it on the head. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, fuck turkeys. I mean, fuck turkeys. I mean, I don't remember the last time there was a good vote. Anything good came out of a vote. Everybody hates it. There's certain people around waving their stings. Look at my Hall of Fame sting. But I mean, that was pretty much the only good votes we ever came around.
Were the Hall of Fame ones, yeah.
Were the Hall of
Yeah.
Fame ones where 3 people in the faction held off long enough and made their lucky timing pull. But I mean,
3 a.m.
votes are usually
button.
messed up. I mean, does anybody remember remember when they had the Hogan vote? How well that went?
Oh, dear God.
Straight
The New
trash.
Day shirt vote. Like every vote is just they need to get rid of votes. Votes needs to go into the trailer with Invasion. I actually like Invasion, but we'll get to that.
No,
But
you
it needs
can
to go-
add it in. You can add it in.
It needs to go to the back of the trailer.
It's true.
I think actor Trish is waiting in the back of that trailer for him. Sorry.
Black Friday vault, anybody? I think it's pretty much only spend oriented.
Yeah.
Your faction spends.
So, any I guess outlooks, hopes, desires on that one?
I mean, if it wasn't stupid expensive and Scopely had actually given people a reason to spend, it would be cool.
Yeah, I'm not too thrilled about the Trish and DX Chyna shards and the cards in
I
there.
mean-
While they're nice, it's like again, it's not worth spending hundreds on.
A couple free
There's
coins out of it. I'm not-
625 Trish shards in there.
It's a good chunk of shards.
Mm-hmm.
Just about a week and a half's worth.
Well, I
I'll
mean,
take that, Drew. That's about it.
yeah, I was gonna say when everyone's about a week short, everyone's gonna
Yeah.
be looking back to this and say, "Damn it, if only I
it
had
was in the
500."
vault. Yeah.
But I mean, if I were somehow able to clear that vault, I could get DX China. I mean, the rest of it in there, I kind of have most everything, other than Trish shards,
Yeah,
which kind of makes me sad.
I'm not
This
big
whole
on.
month makes me sad.
Yeah, I'm not really big on either vault.
We're saying sad today when everybody's going to be in glorious occasion because it's fucking Rey Mysterio Day.
Yeah,
Everybody's going to be like, oh, look!
A lot of people are.
No,
getting
I'm
Rey.
all.
And
I mean, that's-
I'm happy that a lot of people are going to be getting a high caliber character, just for logging on every day. Not even having to play. But for those of us who have spent over the years and, we targeted specific characters because they would help us. This happens to be a month where the folks on the high end kind of get the shaft because we're all looking at it going, we get some free TP. Yay.
Hey, if they give me the right gear for free, I'll be happy. We'll call it even.
Me
It
too,
does-
honestly.
It does.
I have plans here. I'm going to get that gear somehow, one way or another.
I just
I
want the
still-
bird gear.
I still need 494 shards to get him. I'll get him at the end of the month, but I won't get him for a while.
I'll take whatever the fucking game wants to give me at this point because I've learned similar to what I think Bear had said, or what K Pinsa had said was, do you ever really have expectations? And the answer is no, I don't. I really expect to have nothing. So just kind of lower the expectations and move along with it.
The only
My motto,
expectations
my
you should
motto,
have-
my motto with this game is expect nothing. If you get something, it's a bonus.
No,
That's a
I always
jackpot.
expect something. I would expect something from Scopely. It's called disappointment.
It's a good one.
Nasty.
So
And a
anybody
monthly
else?
fix, right? For the new MLC to give you a small bit of hope until you get going. And then it's like, oh.
That one fix per month.
Yeah,
Anybody
they
else
seem
on
to
the
get me
vaults?
with that a lot. Every once in a while, I'm like, wow, maybe this is the end. I haven't got shit. I'm down. And then they're like, oh, here. And then they're like, here, have some Socko shards, too.
Well, see, last month, in that last chance pool, I actually pulled 4-star gold Roman. I was like, oh, maybe I'm turning the corner. My luck's turning around. Then I stupidly did one more pull and went, nope.
Mm-mm-mm.
That's it. That's the feeling.
Can't
Okay.
double it up. That's impossible.
Yeah, don't chase. If you hit something, stop right then.
Well, with the exception of the Ray Ripley loot, apparently I was just money on. I felt like the guy on that National Lampoon's Vacation when he's hitting the slot machines. Every time I inserted a coin or pulled a lever on that Ray Ripley loot, I hit the top feature.
Yeah, you hit some type of feature. It's pretty disgusting. But anybody else on the vaults, the turkeys, before we move on?
Fuck them. Bye.
Yeah, pretty much fuck them.
No more time on them.
All right, let's talk about DX China Showdown event. Does anyone want to give their 2 cents on the card of DX China, the requirements of the Showdown event, the fact that even if you pretty much did everything with your faction and solo, that you still wouldn't be able to actually get the card, even if you picked up all the shards with the bronze, silver, and gold leafs. Anybody wants to feel free to tackle this first, go right ahead. I was not a huge fan of it and found it very ugly compared to the old ones.
I mean, this is just a microcosm of everything that Scopely has just decided that, screw it. We'll just see how much we can bend them before they break.
Yeah, it was an ugly one.
I mean, I'm starting. I don't understand it anymore because I mean they have it set up to where I mean, you max the thing. You should get like you used to. You get them at 2-star bronze, maybe it was 2-star silver, whatever it was, and then you have to up them to go through their tour to get the rest of the shards to get the fuse for them, and that's how it used to work. If you didn't have the characters to get so and so person, then you didn't get them. But it's getting a little nutty that every single character, every single tour, every single event, anything you could possibly do, and you're sitting 300 to 400 shards short, and there's nothing you could do but press the loot button.
And even that won't get you there.
Right, there's
Even
no
all
guarantee.
the shards they put out there, you couldn't buy your way there. You had to spend the loot. And I saw a ton of pulls where they came with 0 shards.
Or like 10.
I don't think I pulled any actually, but I do have her very luckily because for some reason they decided to run 2 showdowns back to back. And I had some spare coin that fortunately put me in leaderboard position to obtain her.
There you go.
That's awesome, but I mean, you shouldn't have to just hoard just to get her if you can max it.
That's the flip side.
Yeah.
Anybody else on Chyna? Obviously, the event sucked. The tour rewards sucked. The requirements weren't the easiest for everybody. If you didn't have Trish or Chyna or Shamrock, I think it was for the males.
Yeah.
I
had the characters, it was just shit.
I was going to say, if anyone wants to talk about the actual card itself and the strength of it, feel free. I think it's an interesting card. But
to be honest, I haven't actually delved quite into because I knew I was never going to get her. But I had a bit of a look at her. She's dangerous. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Is she even better than the Powerhouse? Is she better? Because the Powerhouse is dangerous.
Some people seem to think they're about on par, but that striker is probably a little bit better because it's striker damage instead of powerhouse damage.
Yeah, so you're putting the multiply on top of the. I mean, it could even out a little if you have the blast gem trainers to put on the other Chyna, but just the fact that you're putting the multipliers on the black, you're blowing up the black, you're recycling. I mean, you could do this multiple turns. You could almost hit the black destruction every turn on it. What's even more of a fun fact of something we looked into is a Chyna showdown team with the DX link.
Tag link
is a pretty deadly team.
That sounds pretty rough, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of names by Chyna.
For purple?
Yes, yeah, +2 for purple, which is, I believe, both of their starter moves.
Yeah,
Starter moves, yeah.
That is pretty good shit.
Yeah. Also with the DX Army, which is kind of what, now that I have her, I'm looking at Road Dogg because I'm like, I really don't want Shawn. We'll get to his ass later. But yeah, I'm looking at Road Dogg and I'm like, if you just sit in the back and take a night in Chyna. I mean, China's full. I mean, I believe it's what, +2 to all moves? That DX Army tag link?
I think the Army one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, because a lot of people with women's, not too many people run the armor set with them. So, I mean, stopping that Chyna assault, getting to the tag, I think she's going to be pretty good for that.
Yeah, today is the day and age in females wrestling of the subs, of trying to deal with Carmella, counter Carmella, or Sasha with Protect Gems, and most people don't try to use armor to counter either of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, using Chyna, like you were saying about the pure damage moveset, not a lot of people are going to have that built-in natural counter already.
I do want to say one thing about the tours. Yes, the rewards in the tours were not great, but I did kind of actually like the fact that they used previous grind or chase characters as how to get the bonus points. So you got rewarded for having completed prior events.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, that's.
And to be honest with you, they weren't massively hard because I cleared the Chyna tour, the Chyna thing with a 3SG, and she's not fully maxed at all. And I got I did it with a 3SG Shamrock as well.
Yeah, Shamrock, I was gonna do mine with a 3 silver, and then I said, "Nah, fuck this." So I think it was like a month ago or something. I ended up I was pulling for Hogan stupidly, and in the process of pulling for him, ended up pulling a 4 gold Shamrock fuse up. And I was like, well, this is unexpected, and I just don't know when to use this. Do I use this during a coin evo? And I look, and it's like, nah, it's fucking puny-ass amounts of points. I can just level up one character for one level and get like 8 times the amount of points instead of just moving Shamrock from 3 silver to 4 gold. Like, okay, maybe I'll save it for a talent up. Talent up gives fucking puny-ass points for 3-star fuse-ups also. It's like, well, okay, maybe I'll save it for like a weekend talent up for like a feud or something. Of course, don't need to do that because all the points are already, it's easy points, at least from my perspective. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm never going to move this guy. I'm just going to sit here, and it's just going to sit as a fuse, and I'm never going to touch it. And then finally came up that stupid Chyna event, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It's not going to go towards shit for a coin evo. It's not going to go towards shit for a talent up. Fuck it, I'll just click the button and make my life easier. And I did, and then got nothing out of it because the Chyna event sucked and didn't give me any rewards. It's just like, fucking wasted a fuse up, did all the nodes. Congratulations, you did it. You got nothing to show for it other than the 4-star gold Shamrock, which you got like a month ago.
Yeah. You get a participation trophy of 800 cards. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
No.
Nothing went off there.
Speaking back to rewards from the event, in the Chyna event, I finally got that horror striker Trish Stratus that wanted to give me 5 shards in her previous events.
I maxed everything that I could. Faction maxed, solo maxed, got the bronze, the silver, and the gold leafs. Opened up all the 9 striker bags because I was like 500 shards away from Chyna, and I was like, okay, even if I get all the leaves worth of shards, all of them, I'm still going to be like 300 or so out. So I said, fuck it. I also am missing Trish, and decided I'll buy all the 9 bags. Bought all the 9 bags, and I got 25 DX Chyna shards and 50 Trish shards. I was like, well, this is shit. I got nothing. I had everything, I maxed everything, and I got nothing to show for it. This is a great event.
I think I opened 7 or 8 bags, and I got 1 Shamrock, 1 Chyna, and all the rest were 50 Trishes.
Yeah, it's insane. My buddy opened up 2 bags and got 280 Trish shards. And I was like, oh, so there's a chance for me. Okay, let me go for those bags. And, 2 bob.
There's a
Famous
chance.
last words.
You didn't open them at 3 a.m. That was the problem.
No. I didn't buy them.
You should have saved those for 3 a.m. Set the alarm.
Go get the mail or something.
Yeah, I was on my way to work this morning. I looked at the clock. I said, "You know what?"
It
Put
may
it-
just be that time.
And then this is the best part of it. I put it up. I'm like, "Here it goes. I'm gonna hit this roll." Went to pay for it, and it's like, "Oh, by the way, payment declined because for some reason they fucked up the loot coin prices."
Oh.
And you get 1 for $1.99, and you get 7 for $19.99.
7 for 20.
Yeah.
And 40 for 100.
Yeah, and 40 for 100. So I made so many $1.99 purchases instead of my bank's like, no, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Why-
they're
is this a multiple spam here? So I'm
they
just like,
think
oh, I
it's
gotta
fraud
wait.
and shit.
Yeah. They're like, no, it's not fraud. They're just idiots. They're
Yeah.
just fucking morons.
They're like, sir.
And they're sitting in their office across the country. Hey, who's paying us?
They're like,
Yeah.
sir, why do you have 25 to $1.99 transactions in the past 10 minutes or so? Are you sure this isn't spam? And you're like, no. The people who make this game
Yeah.
are stupid.
Yeah.
I could have either done this,
Yeah.
or I could have spent $100 all at once and gotten
Yeah.
the same exact amount that I got for this.
And mind you, they pay the
Hard.
money on the charge each time it's charged. They probably pay like 5 cents to 10 cents every time a card's charged.
So dumb.
Instead of like it's pretty mind blowing. I should have just told the bank, yeah, it was virtual tips for strippers.
But yeah, and the,
It's like they're charging us a math tax this month. If
Yeah.
you're not smart enough to figure out the math, you get to pay extra.
you want to talk about the math? Anybody else have anything else to talk about in the DX China Showdown before we talk about the math and the trial Army Shawn event?
I was told there'd be no math today.
God. Envy.
You have a couple of nerds on this podcast. I don't know how you thought you were going to get out of math.
Hey, I'm a programmer, so I'm a nerd, so I get it.
Envy, anything on the Showdown event before we move on?
I finished Showdown in a record 4 hours for myself, so that was great. And
Ooh-wee.
that's first time I've maxed it in about 2 months, it seems.
Okay.
So that was good. Fandango's great. Everything else, pointless.
Yeah, fair enough. I fully respect that.
Yeah, I did really enjoy the coin increase and the 10 battles on day 2.
Oh my god, yeah, that was a lifesaver. The fact that they moved the final league up to 1,500.
Yeah, I was done with it on the way to work. I didn't even punch in, and I was done. I was like, "What the fuck am I gonna do when I go home? I have to spend time with the family now." Shit.
It was nice compared to the
Yeah.
other ones, that's for sure.
Yeah, after Showdown, I was like, I met my girlfriend. She seems nice.
Yeah. All right.
So, anything else on Showdown? Going once, twice, and sold. So let's talk about DX Army Shawn event. There was the trial event.
Oh,
Let's not talk about the solo and faction that's going on right now. Let's first stick to the trial event. Trial event, similar to the Zombie Black trial event that we all had last month. Everybody got the card at 5-star bronze full. Everybody, thankfully, this time got all the right amount of TP/shards needed instead of there needing to be a second outlay of shards and TP. So everybody got the card, everybody got the shards, and the coin event rebate was hysterical to say the least. Because the first thing was funny that they tried to work with from last month is they tried to tell everybody to go to 210, but they only gave a milestone up to 180. And then this month they told everybody to go to 210 again, but the milestone coins that they gave out for all of the milestones added up to only if you went to level 180. So that had to be addressed with the devs, and then they fixed it to be the total amount, which was like 51 million something, or 50,700,000, something like that. And then after that, also had to be brought up to the devs that you cannot level the character up 210 levels because he starts at level 1, not level 0. So they had to move the final milestone back from 210 to 209. The issue is, in the process of doing this, they didn't move any of the other milestones back with it. So by proxy, every 10 levels that you leveled up on the card, you ended up losing coin until you finally leveled up the final 9 levels and got, which I think it was accumulated 710,000 coin, and you would get all of the 710,000 coin that you've lost throughout all the milestones back if you collected the very final milestone. That was, needless to say, pretty stupid. A lot of people kept on complaining about how they're losing coins as they're leveling up, and people couldn't finish the coin rebate milestone. On top of that, for some reason, and I still can't pinpoint as to why, some people, when they leveled their card up, the event never registered it. So even if they leveled all 209 levels, the event registered 208 out of 209, which left people down 7 million coins. So, interesting trial event, to say the least.
They'll get it in 6 weeks.
Maybe. I tried to give my suggestion to them that they need to bring all the milestones. Like, if they just keep everything they have right now, and they just bring all the milestones down 1, instead of needing to get to level 10, get to level 9. Instead of level 20, get to level 19. And if you do that, you will get exactly all the coin that you spend into the card back from that milestone, and you won't have to worry about anything along those lines ever again.
That makes too much sense.
I mean,
I'm not saying
the company we're talking about.
I'm not saying that there's not other alternatives or solutions. I just think this is the most paper cutter way of just simple fix for them. Yes, there's obviously other solutions they could do. They could just give everybody the card at level 210 instead of having to do the coin rebate thing. There's other workarounds. But if they want to do it with this coin rebate event, they really should just fix it and just kind of lock it down to what it needs to be, which is getting the coin that you spend in the card back when you get the card to that level.
I think I have the most fun solution here. So does everybody remember the game on The Price is Right where the mountain climber goes up and you had to like stop the guy in between the price before he fell off the mountain?
Sure.
So I think
was the name of the game.
I think they should shuffle all of the milestone numbers into random. And when you go up, sometimes you gain coins. Sometimes you lose coins. But if you know when to stop, sometimes you come out positive, sometimes you come out negative. But you could always go the entire way if you have the coins, and then you just get all your coins back. But I think that would be a lot more fun.
It's certainly more fun. It certainly would be amazing if people put 50 levels into their card and came away with 30 million coin.
Press your luck. No whammy.
I don't think it'll work for them that way, though.
No, they're not good at randomness.
Nope.
They could just create a special currency just for those trial guys. I mean, that would just make sense, I guess.
They could do that, too. It's really not difficult. There's a lot of ways around it, to be honest. But they are the way they are, and because of that, instead of just trying to change the entire thing, instead of just trying to change the entire game, just edit the rules a little bit. If it's their game that they want to play and they want to play it the stupid way, fine, we all play the stupid game. But you tell them, hey, this one rule, Rule 1C, should really be Rule 1D, and we'd all be fine. But it's just interesting. Outside of that, the event was, it is what it is. The tours give out shit. And then there's the card, which not a lot of people are stoked about, to say the least.
Somebody made a really horrible decision because obviously with the release of Ray, everybody obviously thought this was Ray 2.0. He was going to be amazing, where he's like, instead he's Andrade 1.5 and he just kind of sucks. And in my opinion and a whole lot of others, Ray is still the top acrobat in the game.
Oh, no. I'll tell you who the top acrobat is. Steamboat.
I could agree with that only because I knew I wasn't getting him and I didn't look into him as much. But under that, other than maybe Z Taker would be the only other argument just because he's not a multiplayer guy.
No, Ray's better than Z Taker.
Ray's better, is he?
I love Z Taker, but real talk, he's just board dependent in a sense. Like if you don't get lucky with the traps, it's like it's like we talked about, I think, what is it, 4 weeks ago now, when we talked about how you don't like the randomness.
Yes.
That card, I just don't like the randomness of it.
Of it.
That's just what it really comes down to at the end of the day. I really think Motu Triple H is a top-notch card, because even though he uses multi-gems, he doesn't rely on them. He relies on those column break gems, and that's just where he just consistently hits hard and recycles. But
It's
it's a toss-up. But I
needless
still
to
think,
say, all these
yeah.
people we think are better than HBK.
Yes.
Which,
yes.
I mean, that's... it was definitely a failed, whoever the brainchild was of the whole... we call it a failure to them, but I mean, to us, a whole bunch of people are getting Ray. Like I said, it's good and bad, because a lot of people put into getting Ray originally, but now everybody gets a Ray. You get a Ray, you get a Ray. You might get a Ray, but you got a server error, so you'll get one in a couple weeks. But
Right.
no, we'll just tell you never had it.
yeah, you never had it. Never existed.
The
I
card
think
itself,
they were just trying to capitalize on people chasing HBK.
right. Because if
But
they
I mean-
didn't get that monthly striker card, this is the card they wanted people to chase.
But I mean, they gave us one that was easier to obtain, that was better for much less than this one's going to cost.
Zero arguments. I certainly think the striker is the hands down better card.
Without a doubt.
And-
He's
and
been
you-
one of my favorite.
You don't need Hogan for him to be the better card. And the
No.
crazy part, you don't need the gear. If you have either of them, he just gets even better. So yeah, I have to say, I definitely think that striker card is for sure hands down better than the acro. It's not, again, for anyone that's listening, it's not that we're trying to shit on the acro. It's not that he's a bad card. He is still in that quote unquote upper tier of cards. He is just not as mind blowing and wow factor as everyone was expecting him to be. Similar to
Yeah.
Zombie Black.
think,
Zombie Black had
I
that
think-
wow factor where everyone wanted to chase him, and I think to piggyback on AJ's prior mention, I think they tried to capitalize on people that didn't go for Shawn on the month and wanted a good Shawn that wasn't the showboat HBK. And that's where I think it's kind of a mesh of the two. Of we know it's not a tippy top-notch card, but we also know it's a requirement that people might want if they don't have the striker, and that's kind of where this fuse of great card but not top-tier card comes in.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great,
I
but
think,
he's not
I
worth
think-
what... No, sorry.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
keep go, Coyote. You go. Well, basically, I think everyone knows I'm pretty much a Shawn mark.
Yeah.
And I was completely and utterly right what I said at the start of the month, and completely, utterly underwhelmed by it. I saw it, looked at it. I didn't even use it as a moveset. I just did the tour with the low MP moveset and fucked it off. It was shit. And you get all these people that think they know the game and the sort card, and they all started wetting the knickers. Oh, look at this Shawn with his multipliers. No, you can nerf him straight away. It's not a good card. It was not a good
Well,
troll. The fucks it all up with the coins. He's not a bad card, but he's not fucking great. The whole thing, I was completely underwhelmed by it, all to be honest with you. And I'm a Shawn mark, as most of you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I feel like
I think if you look,
go on, Kyle.
if you're on cable server, I think I had a talk, and I can't remember who it was with, but I was trying to point out that I don't think Shawn's that great because those multiplies are going to cause a ton of early pins,
Every
and if
time.
you're going against if you say you're going against say a powerhouse or any of the other real top end characters, and they've got they've got one of their kill moves charged, you're going to get killed.
Yeah,
Like Shawn's not going to stand a chance.
yeah. He
You know,
again, it's not a bad card. It's just I feel like if this card came out when 4-star bronze came out, everyone would be shitting bricks. This would be the best card. People would be losing their mind. This, that, and the other. He's turn one every turn. He can recycle. Blah 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 blah. But at this point, there's straps, there's medals, there's perks, there's lane buffs. In Showdown, while he can be turn one almost every time, no offense, I've had it multiple times, and anybody that I've spoken to hasn't not had this issue. He's board dependent. if you use the 1 MP move, which turns 5 or 6 blue gems into multi-gems, there are multiple times that you will load up a board with 1, 2, or 3 blue gems, and that is not enough to even remotely get close to getting the job done. It's
and
just, eh. That's
and
the
against
issue.
somebody like Sako that's got great board
No
control,
way. There's zero chance.
he stands there. Yeah, he stands zero chance.
So it's like when you think about it, when you have a new card, you try and find that slot of what they fill, right? And in this particular case, like, he's okay in blitzes, but I don't really want a blitz card for hundreds of dollars. He's okay in feuds, but I don't foresee myself using him as my go-to feud character with everybody else that benefits off of plus MP perks when he doesn't use MP all that much. And Showdown, like, he's okay, but as we all have just discussed, two things. A, your main Showdown cards such as Sako or Zombie Roman or Hogan or Hall of Fame Booker, etc., will all just simply destroy Shawn's health. And B, even though he's turn 1, you just can't get the job done. You can't put people away. It's just not enough.
Striker Shawn's a turn 1 in a feud.
Right, that too. Striker Shawn is a better turn 1 in feud than Acro Shawn, hands down. So the slot doesn't get filled anywhere. The slot that he fills becomes Ruthless Aggression Acrobat.
No, he's Attitude Era.
Is he
Acrobat.
Attitude? I thought he was RA.
No,
Or the
he's
Striker's
Attitude.
RA.
The Striker's alright.
That's why.
Striker out.
Let me back it up even more. The fucking thing that he fills now is Attitude Acro, which go figure how many of those you need. I just, the more that I look into it, it's like the less impressed that I am. And knowing they turned him into a trial card, they've only done it once before. I'm pretty sure we all have the same mentality behind them. They make trial cards because they want us to get our hands on them, play with the card, get that wow factor, and then tell ourselves, ooh, maybe I'll pull him if I spend $100. Otherwise, there's no point in giving a trial card out.
Yeah, they really wanted all the 1 MPs to turn you on. And it does for the initial, and then you play with it. And anybody that did that Champa fight realized, like, ew, and it just kept getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I lost half my health fighting Champa with him max.
Right. With your 5-star bronze maxed card. Outside of straps and medals, the most powerful the card can possibly get.
Took about 10 turns.
And it's just like, what? That was my whole mentality on Zombie Black. I was sitting here and I'm like, shit, this guy's really good, but maybe he's just maybe not good enough. But realistically, it's like, yeah, he does all that damage at the very top. He's not going to steal more than 117,000 health or whatever it may be, but it's more than enough. But this was a letdown on every aspect, man.
The only good thing that crossed my mind could have been, I was like, well, what if he tagged with DX Army Chyna, and then he just flooded the board with some X gems, and then Chyna came in and was like, let's destroy everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was my only thought, was that, well, he's better than Road Dogg, and I really like that tag link. But then again, what the hell does MP do him any good?
Exactly. The tag link doesn't do him anything. It does Chyna the good. Like you said, you'd have to use him first to prep the hot tag for Chyna to come in with the tag link buff, because it's not going to help him for shit.
And hope like hell that he doesn't go against somebody that's just going to murder him on the next turn.
Right, because the second he gets smacked, that's the other thing too. If you don't have multi-gems out, you're not kicking out of shit. You hit like a peanut.
And how many of us are playing Showdown expecting the fight to go all the way to the tag?
Right.
Usually I don't, especially if I'm playing the Sako, I try not to make it do that.
Exactly.
I mean, yes, it happens once in a while, but for the most part, the goal is to get tag.
The point is, skip the tag, don't let it happen, try and win ASAP.
And as a disclaimer with him as well, I do have Demon Valor at 9K for Ray, and I put him on, and it just was so underwhelming. I mean, maybe the loaded Furies would have made it a little cooler, but
it's just, again, it's like, how much do you really want to invest to make a card viable? You know, it's just, they need to already be blow away. Like you need to already be hitting 300,000, 350,000 with Striker Shawn before adding medals and stuff onto him. And then you're sitting
Yep.
here like, oh, this card is fucking great. This is an amazing card. Blah blah blah. Like that's the part that you need to hit. You don't need to be hitting 100 something K and then tell yourself, oh please, maybe if I add medals I could hit 200. Like, fuck out of here.
Well, I mean, Steamboat. To go back to him, I mean, he can hit 500K without medals.
Right,
That,
there you
on the
go.
first start.
That's something that
Even going against
speaks for
multi
itself.
coaches, because those crossbreak gems just basically annihilate the board, and it's a 2 MP move.
Yeah, that's disgusting. that you can really get up there too, especially with Zombie Cena giving him 25% damage. That'd be really good.
Yeah, it is Zombie Xena.
Yeah, just put everything in perspective to the top of the mountain of Z Triple H right now, to where nobody had to touch his TP at all to beat anything. You still really don't. It's time consuming, but you don't even have to touch the man's TP.
Yeah, you, like we talked about, I think, what was it? We talked about it before he ever came out, Flo, that the only time you'll need to touch it is when you're getting ready to move him to 5-star.
Yeah, which unfortunately I think just about everybody is.
Yeah.
So there goes more black TP.
And I mean, they're gonna find a way. They're gonna have to find a way to nerf him somewhat. They're gonna come out with some kind of counter for him.
They're gonna come out with his coach, but instead of for MP, for gems. That's what it's gonna be. And one day, not soon, hopefully, but one day, your opponent will generate 3 less black gems on their or on their generate black gem moves.
Is that going to be Hall of Fame Hogan? Hall of Fame Showboat
Probably.
Hogan?
Hall of Fame Hogan will be your opponent will
Hall of
generate
Fame Showboat
less,
Hogan.
will
Yep,
generate,
your opponent will generate 4 less gems.
Yeah, I was gonna say either 2 or 4 less gems on all generate moves. It's gonna be ugly. But yeah, I'm expecting that'll eventually happen, Coyote. That's the only way they can actually counter him. Otherwise, the dude is just nonstop. Outside of that, that's the trial event. Anybody else want to talk about the trial event before we talk about the current faction/solo event for DX Army Shawn?
What I felt sad about Shawn was I took him on the Royal Rumble tour just trying to get that tag match against Bam Bam done at 3-star, and he couldn't even do that because of all those straps and medals that Bam Bam had on him. And if you can't beat somebody with straps at 5-star quickly, you're not worth being on my roster.
Yeah, I don't doubt you on that one. I remember you were talking about how you got skipped like twice or something because of the Bam Bam against Shawn. And it was just like, yeah, he just can't put him away. Just can't put him away. It's so upsetting because it's like so many people were looking forward to it too. Like, oh, gonna be a good Shawn, gonna be a good acrobat. So looking forward to it. And just doesn't.
But I did get a cool legendary Shawn Michaels strap to put on my Showboat Shawn if I ever take him past 3-star bronze.
You shouldn't ever.
No.
I hear you screaming the crop. That's what I heard.
Oh no, he's not.
We'll never have a
Maybe.
reason to take Junkyard Dog to 4-star. We'll never have a reason to...
Who is it, Coyote? Doesn't Rebel have a 5-star Showboat Shawn?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, not kidding there either, Envy. And Sam, when you talk about being a Shawn mark, that guy's a true Shawn mark. He took up Showboat Shawn all the way to 5-star, and then after he was 5-star, he was pulling to see if he can get a 4-star full card to get the fuse up for him instead of just using star fills. That's how much of a Shawn mark this guy was for the Showboat version.
Oh dear.
Ugh.
Rebel is a
One of a kind.
yes. Yes, he is. He was with me in Creepy Hollow for a long time. Great, good guy. Good guy one-on-one.
Oh yeah.
Over some bit, but he suffered from foot and mouth syndrome.
Oh yeah. yeah, for sure. So anything else on the trial? Anyone else for the trial? Coin event, the rebate tours, anything? Otherwise, we'll just move on to the current one, which is the live solo and faction event that's going on right now. So yeah, let's move to that one then. Solo event, faction event, all relating and revolving around DX Shawn. Faction event is milestones containing DX Shawn shards, a couple of 5-star gold tokens, a little bit of resource. I think it's like 3 million coins. It's a feud event, so you can get the feud score if you'd like, or you can what is it? You can do talent up for points also, and I think there's something else. There's the bags inside of the store. There's the faction bags inside of the store. There's 100 of the bags for 70k coin each for faction points. DX Shawn shards and DX Army Shawn shards and DX Chyna shards as well. That's the faction component of it, and then the solo component of it. There are tours to do with a bunch of required cards on all of the different types of tours, and then outside of that, the scoring point method for the solo. There's healing methods, which I think adds up to 1.25 million points, which is self-healing and faction healing. And then outside of that, the main way of scoring points is by spending and then earning DX Army Shawn shards. So the faction event from the milestones kind of feeds the solo event a little bit in the sense of the shards for Shawn, but the solo isn't actually tied directly to feud score. It's just tied to Shawn collecting.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Go for it.
Yeah, someone doesn't sound very happy.
Oh my goodness. A solo event during feud, and the only thing feud related that counts is healing. Come on.
And it's limited.
Yeah, and it's capped.
It's capped at 1.25 million points, and I think the solo max is at 14 million. So
There's no limit for healing on the faction one.
correct.
So it really is a spend event that has absolutely nothing to do with feud.
No, the only thing that feud so like we were talking about, the byproduct of feud is the milestones in the faction event, which provide the Shawn shards, which then funnel points into the solo event. So that's the byproduct. It has nothing to do with your feud or your score. It just has to do with where your faction places in the milestones.
They should have at least put scoring in there for us for our war score.
Yeah, they again did that for the faction, but no solo. So
That's
yeah,
because Scopely doesn't care.
I do like the shards in the faction event, though. I mean, there's a lot. With the bonuses, there's a lot of different ways to score in the faction event.
yeah, it's nice that they have those bonus cards too. I think there's like 10 Hogan fights. Of course, if you were one of the lucky ones to pull DX Army Shawn, you can get some of those fights in. And then there's DX and Road Dogg, which my heart goes out to anybody trying to get bonus points with Road Dogg. I would suggest just doing another brawl instead.
Not me.
Yeah,
The faction event, I think, has some decent rewards with the tokens and coins in it. So, I mean, it's not just the Shawn shards you're going for.
right. There's
You've
there's a
got
couple of
two
those
fighters,
5-star
G.
golds, a couple million
Two
coins.
fighters.
It's good. It's overall good, and there's a lot of solo points in there for the MLC for anybody chasing the solo. For
Definitely.
for that milestone card instead of maybe the 2,000 shard recruit points. So overall, it's a worthwhile event to chase, and to pile on top of it, it seems to be a feasible one to chase. It doesn't seem like it's out of hand. I get that maybe not everybody's a feuder and this, that, and the other, but 7 million in a feud score doesn't seem all too bad, to put it kindly.
Well, I'm just relying on Matthew. I
Should
ain't
be
willing
very
to spend.
easy
I ain't
to
willing
get.
to spend. I ain't willing to spend coin on it. I need my coin, so I'm just going to feud it. I think I'm looking at my faction now, and I'm 97th. Because I hadn't done any tell-up, I hadn't spent anything. I'll just feud it out.
I'm sure I'm not too far behind you on that one, Sam, because I haven't been. I don't do talent up moves for feud events, if at all. Let alone if I do, it's very rare, and it's not usually for the actual feuds, the event score. It's because I want that card in order to do a specific thing, like whether it's an MP trainer or not. But yeah, it seems to be an okay event for a lot of people. Seems to pay out decent. Faction event, that is. Seems to pay out decent, and it seems to be feasible for a lot of people to hit. The solo, on the flip side, yeah, it's a massive letdown, because there's no incentive to continue pushing above and beyond once you hit your faction section.
You're miles in front of me, Bob.
Am I? What did I do?
Yeah, 62K, and I'm only on 9K. You're 71st, I'm 97th. You're 62. You must have been faction healing or something.
Oh, Sam, forgot that health packs count. I
Health
was
packs
using.
count, yeah.
Wait, they don't?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I thought they do. Yeah, I was doing a lot of those tours, and because my Shawn is like 4K talent, I was trying to get his hell mode done against Vince, and I just kept on dying, so I just kept healing myself. So that is an imitation score. Don't take it for what it shows. But yeah, it seems to be good. Sorry, go on, Coyote.
Oh no, I'm saying for the DX Shawn event, do max it. Hold on, I have my trusty little calculator here. I'll tell you exactly what it costs to do it. Because after you do everything else, get all the shards from the feud milestone, from the faction milestones, get all the shards from the tours, it's going to cost you $873 to me.
Yeah. Back to that ratio we were talking about before. So after your faction maxes everything, and then after you max everything, it'll be somewhere around $600 to $800 to max the event.
This seems like the typical Scopely event.
Like it's just shit. And the
So
worst
what y'all
I think
telling me
the
I'm not
faction
getting that
event
skill
is
plate?
good, though.
What was that, Envy?
Y'all telling me I'm not getting that skill plate?
We're telling you that nobody in this room's getting that skill plate. Oh man. What was the most recent event that they just did for 215,000? Was the max milestone that nobody hit? It was like 130,000.
Was that the NWO
The
for
NWO
life?
Yeah.
for life event? Oh
Yep.
my god, that was so shit. I didn't even want to put it on the stupid podcast topics.
I mean, but that's been their normal events that they've run lately.
It was such a horrible event. It was 81,000 points if you actually already had NWO Big Show, and the event was for getting NWO Big Show. So if you had NWO Big Show and then had already spent enough to get the Hell Mode Blitz tickets, had NWO Ted, had NWO Hall, and then had enough Blitz tickets and time to do the 250 blitzes with NWO Brett on normal mode, and did everything, you got 81,000 out of the 215,000 that was needed. And after that, they were selling those coins, which was a 35 set of coins for $100, and you needed like 400 coins. So it was like $1,100 or $1,200 after having everything, which included the Big Show, when the event was in order to get the Big Show. And it was like, what the fuck am I doing this for? I'm spending $1,100 for boss time plate? That's what we're doing here?
I don't even think I hit milestone 2.
Yeah, I think I did the same. Milestone 2 or 3. It was a joke.
I mean, I would.
I didn't get milestone 2. I only got milestone 1. I didn't even reach milestone 2.
It was awful. But like Coyote's saying, that's the norm.
That's the normal anymore, and it's sad.
I think they have issues with math.
That's what everybody says, but
No, at this point, you know what? When they first came out, I got it. When these events started getting this way, or even in the early days when the events were this way, I got it. I thought maybe they just miscalculated stuff, and they just have people that. Now it's intentional. I mean, it's happened so often that it's got to be intentional. Like, there's no way that any normal human being couldn't see that.
No, it's a joke to say the least.
Well, there is, and that's what I'm about to get into, because I'm going to start with the bad, because actually with this event, the good actually outweighs the bad. If you actually look at the milestones and go into the bronze milestone, that's where your turkey is. That's where your 5-star gold is. The only match I was unable to do was Psycho Sid that I doesn't have. I love the fact that there were a billion tours, a billion different. Although you didn't get very much TP, I don't remember. Somebody was joking about. I think the one match gave like 15 and one gave 20.
15 TP bags of 1 TP bags.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like all the tours, although I wish they weren't condensed in a pretty. To me, I view it as one day, because today's feud day, and then by the time I'm done feuding tomorrow, I won't want to play the game. But you could tell that is like the actual top. I just wish they would have put. I mean, they're advertising the super thing as the safe with the emblems, and the other bad thing is they also have Trish shards in the final two.
Yep.
Which is kind of going back to, I think they're trying to play with emotions of people that usually are high on Trish shards. Because they're like, I have to get the 2K, I have to get, because they're not looking at the solo MLC. They're kind of holding the solo MLC down a little bit. I think they're playing that game there with the Trish, hoping that people will spend out extra on the events. But that 9 million I will hit with. I did do light, but I'll still be if you take my light spending off, like I said, those 199 packs. If you take those off, I will still hit that milestone. So, to me, that's kind of where they put their top. That's where the turkey is, which is apparently the big prize. That's where the 5-star gold. Because I always look for those, and that's kind of like the bench setter. Now they added the two above to say, spend this for this, and then spend even more for this, and then you'll get your 19th submission plate. That's gotten... They need to find more balance of what the actual top is and what the bonus is. Because they're putting parts of what should be in the top in the bonus, and that's what's making it look bad. Like plates, for instance, like they used to do with the gear. The gears used to be, you got to the top, you got the gear, but it was in your control. This one, you just run out of points. The faction event, I love everything to do with the faction, because there's so many damn ways to score points. You could score via feuding, healing people, heal tokens. What was it? The bags, which were great, because you not only, that feeds your solo, that feeds your faction. Also, the rarity, you get a lower number, but you get Chyna shards. Everybody that I've seen get all the bags got over 100 of the Shawn shards, which is also included into loading up to that 9 million milestone. I'm not one that likes to worry too much about the faction affecting my solo. With this one, it does, but also the faction has a ton of different ways to contribute, which is a good method. The bad, going back to the bad again, I wish I had more control over my own solo. Meaning the war score, etc., somewhere in the solo, even if they rose the number, because this is a fairly open feud.
Yeah, I would agree on that one too. I think it's a pretty damn good feud.
But it seems, and it started with the Beth to the Rhea to the Zioska. It's like they're finding good formats, and you're telling them what's good. And they're still taking things, and it's because you're not telling them other things are good. They're like, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And they keep altering and changing away from everything that was good. So they just need to find somewhere in the common ground that they can make solo and faction a little bit more even. Because this one is full faction.
Those kind of made me laugh because, like, I think on Hell mode, I think first match you get something ridiculous, like 30k coins for beating a 4SB or a 4SS. You get that on daily for beating a 2SG. I mean, it's like, come on, you're beating a 4S, nearly a 4SS, I think it's something like a 4SB, and you're getting 30k coins.
Can I mention one other thing about this MLC that has been very bad form, just in general? Remember how they had health packs in the tours? They took them out.
Oh, yeah.
That's garbage.
Well, if they're going to use them as scoring methods, you can't just give them out like candy.
Right.
But I can see that as their option there. They are definitely, you could tell they're in resource drain mode. I know a lot of people, unfortunately, wasted all their Blitz tickets last month, and now they're worrying about those. This month has definitely been more coin friendly, whether it's been from events or purchasing. There's definitely more coins available for sure. TP, I'm not so sure about because usually by this time I have a stockpile. I take all my TP, I collect it all month, and then open it the day before Talent Up. And I can tell you right now, I'm definitely not on pace with previous months.
Anybody else in regards to the faction or solo events? I want to make sure everybody gets a say. No. All right. Well, let's talk about the feud then. We were briefly talking about feud. So feud prep seems to have been up for a little while. Not an issue. I think minimum is 4. How big are you guys planning on going for feud? You planning on scoring all 7 million in feud for your 1% for the faction event? Planning on going above that? What's your setup look like? Perks? What are you running?
I'm doing. Who's that? So you go first.
I'm having a ton of problems because it is so open. When I first seen them, I couldn't believe it was the actual. I'm going to post what I want to run in the live chat there. That's what I want to run, even though I know that's not going to be optimal for my partner. Again, it's just the line bonuses are just set. Z Triple H. If you have Hogan, Hogan's set for good. If you have Z Triple H and you can fill that line, Z Triple H is set. Especially if you have those MP perks, it's going to be completely ridiculous. Show he's gonna be my bleed stopper because I'm sure we're gonna see a whole bunch of Sockos. I don't particularly like Socko for feud because he still takes a bit of damage. He usually can't do the turn 1 drop. So maybe I'll see him knocked out, but definitely Z Triple H, NWO Show, and Hogan will definitely be in there.
So that bottom lane is going to be the key for you. Same here.
Yes.
Well, for me, I have different plans because, as I mentioned before the podcast, being in software development, and they decided to they wanted me to deploy a brand new system on a Friday. I'm planning to get it during feud, but if something happens, I have other means to get my scoring. So.
That's
Did I just cut out?
No, you're
okay.
Okay,
it just got real quiet for a minute there.
No, I just didn't want to cut you off.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, that's my plan. If we're close to a milestone and I need to go a little bit above it, sure, whatever. Because for events like this, I'll use star fills and fuses, whereas for Talent Up, I actually use Evos because you get more points for Evos and Talent Up, and you get more points for fuses in these events.
Right. That's true. Sam, I think you were saying something before.
Yeah, I'm just going to feud it out. I'm going to all 7 million feud. I want you running a small team, 56k, Triple H, Speaking, X-Pac, and then Sting and Zombie Austin on bottom. It's only taking 5 in. I don't think I'll have too much problems, to be honest.
Fair enough. Anybody else on feud? AJ?
I'm probably going to try to run around 50k to start. Plan on getting, even though I've completed, I bought all the bags already and all of that, I still plan on getting my 7 million in feud. I love that it is a pretty open feud. Brings in quite a bit of strategy. You have a lot more opponents that you have to try to plan out on how to be able to counter or kill quickly. So this is one of those where, 7 million for 1% shouldn't be difficult at all. Just getting it in feud.
No, this definitely feels very viable.
Agreed, which is nice for a change.
Yeah, seriously.
Some of the previous feuds have been very rough on me, so I'm looking forward to actually being able to have a lot of choices on who to run.
The flip side is, right, like when was the last time we finally just got a feud that wasn't a flash feud?
Mm-hmm.
It's been so long. And the worst part is like even in the flash feuds, if there was one that we had a good lineup for, the next one wasn't the one that we had a good lineup for. It always felt like that. So this just yeah, it feels like it's a decent feud, a good lineup, and you can score those points. I don't think it'll be too brutal.
I think if you've got Hogan, you're set because you can fill two lines easy. I ain't got Hogan myself, but I still can't see a massive problem. But
The
if you've
bo-
got Hogan,
The
you
bottom
actually
line
you're
fill
set.
is huge. Not gonna lie, the bottom line fill
Yeah.
is very good.
Oh yeah.
That middle line one though also is pretty fucking solid too. But it seems to be a good feud for people. Envy, what are you running? I haven't heard from you in regards to feud.
I finally get to dust off my X-Pac. I haven't run this guy in Feud in like a year. But he's get some action at middle row. I got Zombie Triple H, Fandango at 5-star, and I'm between Earthquake and Big E on that top line. And I really want to get Big Kev in from time to time just to do something, but I don't have Hogan, so I can't put him on that bottom row.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm assuming your Kev is not 5-star. Otherwise, you'd probably want to put him in the middle.
Nope. Yeah, he's 4-star gold.
Yeah. It may not be an awful idea to just leave him in the lineup with the anti-red moveset. Just because people have to, people not have to, but people usually tend to run MP trainers on the majority of their feud lineup. So whoever they're using as a red MP character, you could just strictly use Big Kev to counter their red MP guy, whoever it may be.
Well,
Or Triple H got that too.
Yeah, Triple H has got that.
No argument there. I just figured that you'd wanna like focus the gem generation with him instead, and like the MP gain. But that makes sense too. Just an idea.
Yeah, I might do that though.
Yeah, my NWO show is also going to be pairing up with the Z Triple H coach trainer setup. So he's definitely going to be my any problem stopper or the Z Austin stopper.
That's fair. What were you saying, Coyote?
I forgot. I lost my train of thought. It derailed.
Not a problem.
I'm also sitting here playing Mario 64 while we're on the podcast.
Well, thank you for giving me your undivided attention. I appreciate that.
hey,
But yeah, the feud lineup looks to be pretty good. I myself am running a 40k lineup is what I'm gonna be running, lowballing it. It's gonna suck for whoever the hell finds me. I'll tell you that much. I'm running the full bottom row. It's with a 2k 3-star silver Mr. Perfect. My brand new fancy schmancy 4-star gold 9k Hogan, and then I have 2 5-star bronze. I have 2 5-star bronzes. One is Big Kev and one is Vince. Both of them at 15,000 talent. So it's not gonna be a fun time for a lot of people. Vince is gonna start turn 1 with the boss time plate this feud, so that's gonna suck for 99% of people. And Big Kev, because of the lane bonus and the monthly bonus and feud perks, he's going to start at 7 out of 8 MP, I think is what it is. Or 6 out of 8 MP if I fight somebody with the minus perk. So he's going to be pretty devastating, and that's without me having any MP trainer on him. So that allows me to use Honky Tonk Man, and I'll have my Big Kev with, if nobody has the minus perk, with 7 out of 8 MP with 95% gem defense. So it's going to be pretty fun in the bottom row, for at least for me.
I'll be looking for you.
I can't wait.
See, I was originally going to run a 100k roster, but then I decided that that's probably not going to be beneficial.
I'll
show
I
you
know,
Rick
I want to so bad. And I just look at it and I was like, just once? Towards the end, after I hit the 7 minutes, it's going to happen sometime tonight. It's going to be about 2, 3 a.m. and I'm just going to be like, you know what? It's time.
It's just going to slow me down.
And then I'm going to
is my
party up
issue.
with like a 20k guy.
My issue is it's just going to slow me down. Like, if I really wanted to, like, yeah, I could fucking add Macho and Sacco and get up to 70k. But it's just like, do I really want to deal with that? No.
I'm actually excited to take Keith Lee first. Feud finally. I got him up to a level where I can.
Oh, yeah, Keith Lee's a nightmare and a half in Feud, dude. Ugh, absolute nightmare and a half.
And he's going to be turn 1 with
double MP, with Breeze and Steel, yeah.
Yeah, with Breeze and Steel on him.
Mm-hmm. Dude's
Yeah,
real good.
the last Hogan feud, nobody kicked out of Hogan.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to kick out of mine because mine's a baby 9K, but I'll get them there soon enough.
That's better than I think the 4K you showed. I think that's her. I was going to comment on it, but I was hard at work.
Look,
You should go tweet.
I had just got them.
Good to see you're working on your priorities.
I was sitting here and I was like, I got shit on for my like 4K talent zombie Triple H and like 3K talent striker HBK, and I think Flo was just like, Bob, who the fuck are you working on that these people are so low leveled? Like, what is going on? And I was like, dude, I don't know. I've been working on Sacco. I had to take him up, so I took him up this month. And it was like I haven't been able to work on anybody else. And then last month I pulled Hogan, so I had been focusing Earthquake. Now I moved to Hogan, which means my zombie Triple H and HBK fall on the back burner, and it's just like.
So what took you so long on Sacco?
It wasn't even so much that it just took me long. I just had to invest in him all the coin because he was just bare bones level 1. So I spent that entire end of the zombie month just dumping coin and TP into him. Just the entire final 2 weeks, just straight on him.
AJ, from the time you got Sacco, how long did it take to,
About a week.
Look, you can flaunt it as much as you want. All right, I do my shit at 2 bob time. All right. Got my own 2 bob time.
2 bob time all the time.
2 bob time.
I mean,
all the
2
time.
bob.
Caveat,
T-Bob's a
though,
busy guy.
I did use coins during Talent Up to finish off Sacco. It's a plus an evolve plus more coins, and that's the first time I've ever done that during Talent Up.
He would be the card that's worth it, though, so I can respect that.
T-Bob's a busy guy. He's got to run his phone sex business, too.
Oh, my God.
1-800-2-bob time.
Oh, God. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Feud Prep. I think it'll be enough to carry me to the 7 mil. If not, then yeah, I can toss in another 5-star or 2 in the lineup and sort of mess around with it that way. But I'm pretty content with how it's at right now. Feud seems to be pretty solid, at least for the foreseeable event. I'm also content with my perks. I maxed out the MP and the Generation perk, so I'm pretty stoked with that.
You know the way it's going, though. We're going to get Flash Feuds over Thanksgiving again, right?
Yeah, it's going to suck. They're most likely going to try and give away some new something that's going to make everyone want to feud really hard. But it is what it is, right? So
If
for
they
now,
put a boss plate as a reward for Feud, everybody's going to want it.
don't you
See,
worry, they're
I'm
fixing it.
I'm off Thursday, Friday for Thanksgiving, but work the weekend.
Don't you guys worry about that boss time plate. They're fixing all the skill plates, so it's not going to be as OP as it used to be.
Tell Big Show that.
It'll still work once.
What if
Are
they
we
introduce
sure?
a new belt and I can put 2 boss plates on them?
That's a different story. If they introduce like a like a mythic strap or something, like an ultimate strap or some shit like that. Yeah, and has 2
and they'll
skill
put
plate
it.
slots.
And they'll put it at the top of a Ascend event where it'll be like 3,000 the max. I mean, let's just be real with ourselves here.
Yeah, and then 3 weeks later they have it in a faction event.
Yeah.
250,000 strap parts to unlock.
Yeah, it's gone from 24,000 to 48,000 to like 96,000. And you're just sitting here like, shit. I didn't even get any extra armor sets or anything. It's just another skill plate slot. Suck. Ugh. But yeah, that's it at least from me for Feud Prep. I'm not sure if anyone else has anything regarding Feud Prep they want to talk about. If not, there was one final thing I wanted to address on the podcast before we wrapped it up. The new faction updates. They updated the faction hub this month. They similar to what people were talking about before. They're giving away Ray, more or less, for logging in this month. I think it's like 750 shards or something obscene. Also giving away a 2-star minimum of 2-star bronze NBT. And at the end of the month, they have that Regalia chest, which has pretty top-notch cards. I think the worst one or the most common one in the bunch is X-Pac. Shamrock,
Which we're all gonna
Kyrie,
pull.
Ember, Hogan. A good chunk of cards towards the end there. So it seems like they tried to do a couple of updates for the community. Wanted to kind of gauge what you guys thought on the login stuff and also the faction hub update with the new stuff, not new expeditions, but new like layout, new daily quests that are solo and faction oriented, and apparently there's going to be a
Where's the
new,
fucking shop?
instead of a new swag store, it's going to be a new faction shop, which will have rumored to have coins, TP, and straps, like epic and legendary straps with bonuses that are actually decent, not silly ones. So like 20% gem damage, 10% gem defense, affiliation straps. It seems like it's a store that when people always talk about how the game has to be updated for resources or update this, update that, I feel like this store is probably the most up-to-date thing that they're giving for today's day and age of the game. Maybe not the amount of coins that they'll provide, who knows, but if you're offering an affiliation strap for an MP trainer, that's useful and viable in today's day and age of the game. So kind of wanted to gauge what you guys thought about it.
Which shop?
The new faction shop. So
Well,
The
instead
one
of
that's not in yet.
correct, the one that is not in yet, the swag store, but the faction store.
We're doing all these expeditions for nothing because we can't spend anything.
Well, so far, but I'm gonna expect that the majority of this faction store is gonna have like, I'm expecting there to be like 100,000 faction coins for 1 million coins, or like 250,000 faction coins for a Jerry Lawler affiliation strap. Like that's what I'm expecting it to be. I'm not expecting it to be a couple of thousand like the swag store.
You remember what we said about expectations?
Well,
true.
here's the thing. I'll say this: if they add all that, cool. But how long till they decide that they're going to change it and completely nerf it, just like they do everything else?
I mean, it's gonna happen. They pretty much destroyed expeditions with all the strap expeditions now. 90% of the expeditions are all strap related. So I wouldn't put it past them. But I think the updates are overall they're good. I think the layout is cleaner personally. I know not a lot of people like change. Like for example, when all the gems changed, the majority of people were very adverse to the gem board changing. But this type of update, I haven't really heard any complaints about the UI. In fact, I've only heard compliments about it. It does seem cleaner. It's not like when they updated events to be contests and competitions, how people hate they have to click 5 times to find a solo event. Sure, people got used to it, but people still don't like it. But this seems to be okay. The faction store seems to be okay. And there were a couple of quality of life updates from a leader standpoint in the faction. 2 things. A, you can now send messages to individual players if they're underperforming. That's a new faction feature. And B, which is pretty huge, at least in my opinion, it shows who has a 0 score now. Instead of having to go and look for, 97 people have a score, who are the 3 people that don't have a score? I guess, quality of life faction updates. I'm not opposed to them. I don't really think many people asked for all these things, but I think this is one of the very few things that they actually did, which was a benefit that wasn't really asked for. That's at least my take on it.
Have they fixed being able to edit the individualized messages? Because
No.
I think right now they just say your faction needs you.
Correct.
Log on.
They have not fixed any of that, unfortunately, as of yet. It's still just a bell button that you could say, hey, we need your help.
I do like the fact that, it's going to force people to actually play the game in order to work on the faction events, and that you'll be able to see who's not.
Yeah, I think it's great to see it's great to hold people accountable. That's what I gained from this.
I'm still not healing anyone.
No
I'm
doubt.
reserving judgment on the new faction store until it actually goes in and we see what's in there.
Yeah, I'm at a giant to be determined.
I can't make a judgment on it until a couple months after it's live because, like I said, the initial rollout, they always roll out something pretty decent with it, and then after that they pare it back way back. That's when I'll make my final pick.
That's
Personally.
fair. It's fair, but at least for now on the surface, it seems to be a decent update from at least again from my perspective.
I'm still waiting on the update to the Showdown shop that they said was going to go in a month ago.
Yeah.
Well, that
I'm
won't.
still
They said that
waiting
wouldn't
for-
happen until
That
there's
Eddie strap.
What's up, Envy?
You know, they haven't updated the Showdown shop. They seem like they really want us to play Showdown in the little faction thing because they tracked that. Somebody did like 43 in like the first day. I don't even know how that's possible.
Well, no, some
Boredom.
people like Showdown a lot. To be fair, they may just enjoy their Showdown.
You ever heard
I've
of
seen some
Socko?
people like that. Yeah, I was gonna say I've definitely heard of some people like that just enjoy Showdown.
Or they were trying to get to the next level so that way they could get a bigger bonus on a daily basis for more coins, which helps their weekly bonus.
I'm not gonna lie, I finally climbed above 4,000, and I was like, oh yeah, I finally climbed up a new league after all these months. I wonder how many coins. And then I shut up and I'm like, wow, that was like 48 coins more, huh?
It's a big jump when you go over 5,000.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you go up to? Because I'm at like 1260 or 1270ish right now.
What is yours? You're over 5,000, aren't you? What is your daily coin? 1680.
Oh wow, so yeah, you get like an extra 25%. That's pretty worth it. I'm not gonna lie. That's much better than grinding for 40 coins. just saying. But
I'm over 4,500 and I only get 1350.
yeah, see that's insane. I would not want to grind all that much out. That's just too much. But yeah, anybody else on updates, Faction Hub updates, anything like that?
I'm still waiting for the update that gives all my faction mates shock collars.
For when they hit zeros? Yeah.
No, just for when they do anything, like don't read, breathe incorrectly,
Don't
forget to
read.
bathe. You would be surprised how hard reading is.
I know.
I remember being a leader and being like, faction leading is like herding cats.
Yeah.
I use that phrase often.
Try being the unofficial official faction motivator.
I will say one thing though about this update. I don't like the fact that it shows who's got what in the loot pools. I think that is so
I don't
intrusive.
Like Tattletale either.
I absolutely loved getting going to low statty first in the faction and being so. How about that 3-star bronze Pete Dunne you just pulled? You weren't going to tell us, were you?
I just
So we gave him shit for a while for that, but
I just fucking hate it, man. I just fucking hate that new feature. It's the worst.
well, I'm kind of gonna like it, especially when everybody's like, "Hey, these DX fights we have to get done. I know who to tag."
That's the only time it'll be good. It's like, oh, I know so-and-so pulled our DX Army Shawn, and we need 5 of those. Let me send him a DM. Hey, dickhead, I know you pulled this guy. Level him
Yeah,
up.
imagine Stalks being in your faction. That thing would never shut up.
I'm gonna just keep quiet
Oh,
about
dear.
that one.
Oh dear.
Just gonna keep real quiet about that one.
I
Same
don't
here.
like that it also tattletales on who you've made changes to on your roster.
Yeah, who you've evoed and all
Yeah.
that shit. It's gonna fucking blow up on next month's Talent Up.
Guide
Oh,
to
dear.
5-star bronze. Fucking hell.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it's gonna say. The entire next Talent Up, it's gonna say so-and-so took so-and-so to 5-star bronze. If you have anybody in your faction who doesn't have 2 5-star bronze moves ready, and you see, oh, so-and-so fuse so-and-so, so-and-so, it's gonna have like 27 fuse ups. Because that's how the other people do their talent up. When they don't move people to 5-star, they do like 20 or 30 fuse ups. It's gonna blow up the chat. It's gonna be just terrible.
Man, somebody should congratulate Cable on that 3-star bronze Kevin Owen he got.
Yeah, the fucking 3-star bronze tech KO. God, it's so stupid. I saw that. I saw the game told me that I pulled one, and I'm like, when the fuck did I pull this shit? I don't remember. Like this is not something that's notable or noteworthy. Like, get this out of here.
But no one congratulated on my 3-star bronze Diesel.
So stupid. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for number 15. If anyone in the community wants to ask anything, feel free. I'll be sticking around for a couple more minutes. I'm gonna be working on the tours to try and prep prior to Feud, and just get it all over with and done with. If anyone wants to reach out and hop onto the next podcast, definitely let me know. Just shoot me a DM and I will set you up with some permissions. Want to say a huge thank you and a huge shout out to everybody that came out today. Appreciate it. AJ, Coyote, Flo, Sam, Envy. Thank you guys all for joining me on number 15. And hope to have you guys back on a future one as well. It's been a pretty kick-ass one, pretty long one, but I can't wait to see where we're at in a couple of weeks and see where people are with their Road Dogg based on where they said they were going to be right now. I've got a real weird feeling that I still won't have mine to 5K by then, but it seems like it'd be an interesting one, and maybe, who knows, maybe somebody's got Trish by then. It'd be interesting. So thank you guys all for coming out and joining, and we'll see you next time.